So I'm going to start with the arch concrete, and to do so I'm going to create a copy just by right-clicking and duplicating my pipe arch concrete, and then I'll rename that as my culvert. And then over here in the properties, go ahead and do a quick refresh, click on another prototype and back on that one to make sure you're making edits to the correct one. And we're going to leave everything set the same, except down here under the physical culvert section, we're going to set is culvert to true. Right, now we have some options here. So one option is to use the conduit. If we have this set to use conduit, then the user can go in and pick their inlet coefficient for the head wall and the end wall. I think a better method is to use the start node and the stop node, and this is going to automatically pull the end wall and head wall coefficients from the start and stop nodes so that the user doesn't need to type those in. As you're doing this, if you collapse the areas you're not interested in, it'll make it much easier to make the change as you go in and create each one. So now I'll continue making the rest of my culverts. Then I'll also create the ones for user defined. Next we'll move into existing. Right now I have a very generic list for my existing conduits. So right now I'm only having my user defined feature definitions. So in this case I would just need to create 3 for the culverts and 3 for the pipes. But I would strongly encourage you to create an existing feature for each one of your different types of pipes so that you can go ahead and preload that conduit catalog in there, as well as predefine whether or not you're going to be designing that conduit. So I'll go ahead and create one of these. So I'm going to do the user-defined concrete for the culvert. Create a copy of this one. Rename it. Just put an X at the front for existing, and then I'd go to my design section and say no, I'm not going to design that culvert. And then once you have your prototypes created, then we'll go over to the feature definition and we'll assign those prototypes. And we can do this in bulk. If they use the same prototype or if they use different prototypes, you'll want to do it individually. So we'll just go in and set the existing culvert user-defined concrete to the existing culvert user-defined concrete prototype. And this is where naming your prototypes the same as your feature definitions is going to make it very easy to match these up. Then I would do the same thing for my culverts. As well as the pipe.